Boom. Boom, baby. It's the Mimi Show, y'all. Brought to you
Hey,
by Little
hey,
Skunky Products. We have Ink by Temper. We have T with us today, master tattoo artist. I can't wait to show him off. Also, Mimi Show is brought to you by JV Media Productions. So check them out. I'm Mimi. What it do? How you doing?
I'm there. I'm trying to enjoy a little time resting at home in between shows and stuff. So
You've
just
been on
gotta
the road.
capitalize on that. Man, I've been on the road for like 4 years, so
You've
it
been
gets a little
working,
hectic
working.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to have you here and to show you off to the people because I saw your work and it blew my mind.
Thank
And
you. I
okay, so
appreciate it.
to give y'all a little context, so I'm looking at his portfolio, beautiful tattoos, and I had noticed because they're so pretty, these flowers, they're coming out of the anuses. He tattoos anuses, and it's the
I do
most beautiful
a
thing.
lot of the unmentionables.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything. I'd never seen that be that beautiful. Like,
It,
like where I'm
it,
looking right
it's
into it. I'm
tricky.
looking right into
It's
the
tricky
hole.
to make the job happen, but sometimes it's you gotta try to separate yourself from the area and just make whatever concept come to life.
They look beautiful, coming just the flowers coming out and turning into the ass. Like I don't know. I go. My mind goes into the dirty places, and it's still beautiful.
Facts.
Because if I was a man and I had access to that, and I just can't, like, I just try to see it in my mind, like that has to be a beautiful
It
thing.
might bring a smile to your face.
Yes, I mean, and it's a flower, and it's like, oh my god. If
uh,
there's any way that the people can actually see, because I know I can't show it here, but if there's anywhere where the people can go see your art besides your page, because y'all got to see this.
yeah, the page is a little PG. I actually got my page hacked about 6, 7 months ago, so I'm just barely starting to like restore
Mhm.
some of the old pictures and stuff like that. But you could see the young lady getting tatted, but you can't, she's on like one of the earlier posts of
Mhm.
like maybe about 7, 8 months ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do a lot of the
You got to make
unmentionables. I
it so
do the
people can go
front.
like
I
in
do
your
the
website, like in your
I
like,
know, but Instagram's so like strict. And then,
yeah. But you got a website,
I
right?
got it. No, I don't got a website. I kind of
We got to get
just, believe
a
it or not,
website.
I'm on the word of mouth. Like
That's
I'm real
amazing.
bad with I'm bad
We
with the
could get the
social media.
website. No, to be able to put all those things that people can't see anywhere else, or that would be considered, adult content, in the website, and then the people have somewhere to go where it's not Instagram who's bossing it, and it's not Facebook, and
Right, right.
it's your website. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna help you with that. We got to do that.
I gotta tap into reality.
No,
I'm not,
there's your
I'm
reality. You got it. You got it.
no,
You're
but I'm
so
saying
in
like
it.
I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up. I ain't
Oh,
got time
that's
for a lot of
hard.
that.
That's
So
right.
I
That's
feel
where
like
you get
right
help.
now I don't post enough. I'm kind of a
Yeah,
caveman, but I'm getting
you
there.
do your work. You do good, and you do
It's because
what you do.
I do a lot of spicy stuff, so I don't I have problems finding a medium. But you're right. I need to look
Your
into that and get
website.
in.
It'd be all
I,
you.
I, I do Snapchat.
I'm gonna
Snapchat's a
help you.
little
I'm gonna help you to make the
whatever.
website because I just got mine for the same reason. Because sometimes I get spicy, and so I want somewhere to put that spicy stuff where it's not gonna,
Where
we're
it's
in
appropriate.
agreement.
Yeah,
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 we're in an
where it's
agreement.
appropriate.
I was gonna do an OnlyFans, but then I changed my mind. So we'll just keep it on the website.
Yeah.
Just keep it on the website. When was the first time that you tattooed a spicy area, and were you nervous?
I definitely was. Uh, I was more nervous because I just wanted to put the best version of myself, in front of everything, and I
Yeah.
didn't want it. I don't want it to be any kind of awkward for any party. I
What
want to
part of the
make it
body
make
was it?
sense. It was actually a butthole.
It was a butt.
Uh, yeah, it was a heart, and then with like a key going through the heart. So when you flip one way, it was a spade, and then when you flip the other way, it was a heart.
See, that's what I'm talking about. However you
So
flip her, you see something different.
you
I
see
like
something
that.
different. You're always opening up into a different space. Hey,
In the, right,
what-
if I had had when I met you over at the convention, at the tattoo convention, if I had the money, oh, we'd have been on. We'd have been
yeah,
on. If I'd had the
man, you
money,
don't
like I'd
worry
have been like,
about that.
I'm
We'll
gonna bend
figure
over, do it, give me a flower and a
it.
butterfly, and make
And
it
you'd be
joy.
surprised. I got all kind of. I've done kittens. I've done butterflies. I've done hearts. I've done flowers.
I like the
So the
butterfly one too, because
the
I can
list doesn't
imagine like
stop.
the
Are you
shaking of
kidding?
the butt. Like that has to look
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. The girl actually did. She did the front and the back. She in the show. She did. I was doing a cover up on the front, and I
Yeah,
did. She had like a tribal, small tribal, and I
yeah.
put like an elephant on the front side, and on the cooter side, and then when we flipped her, it was the butterfly. So
She
to,
had some
to
pain that day, all at
man,
once.
but she was a
But
gangster.
you take it,
She tugged it out.
take
She
it like a
tugged it
G.
out. Well, you can't be freaky and not be able to take the shit, right?
Say it
Yeah,
right.
you know.
If you're gonna be about it, you
But
gotta be about it, and the
but
proof
yeah,
will come because people ask you.
a lot of my guys, they be messing with me, giving me a hard time because I had a couple weekends where it was just like nothing but real like spicy spots and shit. And then
Yeah,
it's not always in a
private.
private studio.
Yeah,
This is in a trade show, where there's at least 5,000 people walking around. A couple
right,
thousand artists. There's cameras.
right.
There's for
And you got
there's
your ass and your cooter
magazines.
just out
Yeah,
there, like
yeah. You got magazines from here to there. You got all kind of people that were in different TV shows that are there, and like Black Ink and Ink Masters and all kind of people walking around. So they all got their entourage as well with them.
right,
So at any given time, your Nagas could have been from here to there. You could be you could came out in 12 magazines and not even know the
right.
names of them.
You got
Yeah.
a public hiney for the arts, but it is for the arts.
Well,
That's
you
the
know what?
different
A
about
lot of
nudity when it comes
artists,
to nudity and art. It's
definitely. A lot of artists, they got mixed feelings about it. Some cringe because it might be a lower success rate. Some cringe because it's borderline inappropriate, and they might have problems in their relationships while they're doing it as well. Like it could create a
oh
little
yeah,
bit of
yeah. The
uncomfortable setting.
jealousies. Yeah,
But I mean, at the same respect, I mean, at the doctor's office, we don't go through all that. So we shouldn't
right.
have to go through that here. And
And y'all ain't
you know,
favoring nobody. The doctor's straight up sticking it in and feeling around and all that. So
yeah, yeah. No, and then,
you're just
yeah,
painting it.
but well, I mean, I could understand where, from both perspectives, but at the same respect, you got to be open and minded enough. A lot of the people I work on are either in the adult industry
Mm,
or they're recovering from certain procedures that they've done. They might have
yeah,
had
recoverers.
cancer, they might have, so they're covering scars. A lot of what I do isn't just the unmentionables. It tends to have to do with more like hiding scars and stuff like that.
Mm,
Men could care less about a scar, but women will have a real bad day if you point out a scar, and they might, and it might be
insecure
something that
moment.
triggers something else that triggers something else, and then they forget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you somewhere
Yeah.
else. You
Now
know.
I have kids, so I know that when I've thought about it to get my little tummy tattooed from my stretch marks from giving birth.
Hmm.
So I understand how that's just, if somebody has the gift to be able to give me a little confidence just because I know that
Right.
that's
Well,
not
I get text messages out the blue from my clients sometimes, like, "Thank you again." I'll be like, "For what?" And they'll be like, "For making me a bad bitch." I'm like, "Bro, you was a bad bitch already. You just needed a little bit of love,
right.
polishing, hook
Right.
you up." You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
have you seen uh the tattoos that are the people are putting like on their face, like tattooing their makeup on, like tattooing their lipstick, tattooing
Yeah,
their
yeah,
eyeliner?
yeah, yeah. I,
Is
I
that
you
a
know,
whole
the
nother
thought.
way of learning, or what, or is that the same
I wouldn't want
art?
to learn right there. You know, that's the last thing you need. A whole line of bitches mad at you. Yeah, 'cause you did their makeup wrong because I'm a man. So then what
Mhm,
happens? Like I might not be the just because I'm an artist doesn't mean
mhm.
I did it to the specs that you might have wanted. So
Mm.
I don't want that kind of pressure, even if
Have
it's
you
only
ever
two
had
lines or three lines. You know what?
have you ever had someone disappointed?
No. You know
Okay.
what? When I was earlier in the earlier part of my career, it was a lot of learning, by trial and error. But
Yeah.
most of the people I worked on, they knew where I was in my career. They knew I was an early artist, like I was just starting.
Mhm.
And even when I was an early artist and I kind of wanted to, like, I didn't take it too serious the first half of my career. I probably just did it more out of hobby just because I was an artist and didn't really look at it like a career. I just looked at it
Mm.
like a hobby, like it was just an extension of me, you know. But as I seen the tattoo machines evolve, so did the skills. As I seen some of the tools evolve, so did the skills. You know, there was a lot of gatekeeping when I got into the industry, and there wasn't a lot of free information.
Yeah.
There wasn't internet. There wasn't people that were giving you the exchange of anything or
Right.
tell you, even if I don't teach you, hey, check it out, Mimi, go look this up, and look this up. And then when you're done with that, come back and then I'll give you something else to look up and we'll start taking on little projects or whatever. You
Right.
know what
Some
I'm
kind of
saying?
collaboration, some kind of like just share the knowledge. None
Just
of that.
teamwork. There's
Yeah.
enough Latinos seizing the moment.
Mm.
And instead of fighting with each other, they need to kind of
Build.
put their better foot forward, build together,
Build.
grow
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
If there's anything I could do, I might not be the best artist because I work with really talented artists that, I mean, I feel like like a rice grain on the scale of a plate. You know what I'm saying, or something. But uh when you're rich, you shouldn't worry about giving. And that's a form of being rich, a higher understanding, and just to see somebody not make the same mistakes I've made is just gratifying in itself.
That's beautiful. How long have you been doing this though? That's
Man,
30 years?
no, I loosely 30 years, but I probably about 20 years, 25 years. The first couple of years I really didn't take it too serious.
That's what
And
you're
then,
saying.
I was
Is
I
that
was in the
because of the
neighborhood.
arts? It's the arts because I feel like I've had the same experience with my creations. Like at the beginning, and I look back at the things that I did, and I'm like, man, if I would have taken myself seriously then, or I didn't know what I had then, I was just kind of playing and having fun.
Well, I
But
was
like,
better at being a hoodlum and I had to survive. I didn't plan on
mm,
living so long. You get what I'm saying? So I
wow,
didn't really,
yeah,
I kind of come from the black hole. You get what I'm
mm,
saying? So there ain't a lot of people betting on you or rooting for you or trying to help you through.
that's
And
changed.
uh I don't think it's changed, but I think the world's changed. So now there's different opportunities that you can seize even without somebody directing you or helping you. But
Do you
it
see
always helps
yourself
to
as
have
that now?
somebody.
Do you see yourself now as a guide?
You know what? I always try to help anybody. Anybody that come, even if it's a stranger, comes and asks me some real crazy shit. I tell, give them my opinion or whatever. But I always root for people, especially because I know where I come from, and I know sometimes it's dry on opportunities. It's easier to be a doughboy than to chase your dream down and walk it down, you know,
Mhm.
and own it the best you can. And you can't cancel reality. You still got to pay bills. So it wouldn't matter if you want to go paint in Paris on the Eiffel Tower. You got to make sure you could get there, right, and you could eat and you could
Right,
get back and forth, and it makes sense.
right.
Um, but
It's a balance. It's a balance.
me and a couple colleagues have been talking about trying to make some kind of program where we could give back. So we're in a mix of trying to figure that out. There's a couple great minds behind it right now. I
Nice.
know you know a few of them. So,
Yay.
you know, uh, there's definitely a lot to talk about, a lot to conquer. But I
Did
mean,
you did you
when
ever
you
think you were gonna get this serious back then when you were trying to make it and trying to survive? And did you think,
nah.
oh, this is no, that didn't cross your mind.
Well, I remember going to college and I wasn't trying to be a tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to I was trying to be, something in the workforce. And then I remember even my dad telling me, like, when are you gonna get a real fucking job? And I'm like, what
That
do you
conversation.
mean? Like, oh my God, And then my clients like, bro, I'm an engineer. I wish I could be a tattoo artist. So then I started having a little more respect
For yourself
as
and your
far
art and
as
what you can
right
do.
for myself, more like for my position in the industry. Like I'm I'm not even a guppy. There's some real masters that I work with, real pioneers, real staples of the industry, and I'm just being grateful just to be. Um, I do hold
That's a
my
good
own.
message to share, though. That's a good message to share that I always like to repeat it, and I think I've repeated it in a few of these podcasts. Is the who you are is already who you are, and then we cloud it with your needs and paying the bills and parents and other other outside people telling you gotta get a real job, but you were you the whole time. So if we foster and if we take care of that part of us, you know, then it
Well,
doesn't
even
take so
even that
long,
tough
I
love,
think.
even that tough love counts. Not everybody digests it the same way.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Some of us come from harder backgrounds than others. Some of us had a better support system than others. Some of us were groomed a lot better than others, you know. So a lot of things come from need, from necessity, from
Mm-hmm.
from being kind of put in the position to grow, to force to
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that, you get your shine from being in the dark, not from being in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things grow
Mm-hmm.
in the dark. A lot of things, like they mold you. Character development is a
That
real
part.
serious thing.
Yeah.
It comes in all forms and sizes, and sometimes it could come in a, life's beautiful, but it's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could come in like in a form that's unforgiving, or just real next level, unthinkable. But
Right. You
as you
make it
start to
through
grow
and there
and
goes.
right, you
Yeah,
know,
that part. Being an artist is I think often being in those dark places because you need to grab so that you can show in the light, like how you were saying.
yeah, yeah,
So it almost irritates me sometimes though that even me, like stop being sad, stop going
right,
into the dark, like stay in the light. But then if I stay in the light, you see what I'm saying? Then
right.
okay, so I have, because I can go into the light and have a past of the dark, or because I can currently go into certain states of depression where I can see things certain ways, and I come out and I write a song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
it's it.
I mean, this is going to be hard, and some people might not understand it on the surface value. Um, you gotta enjoy the fight. You gotta enjoy the
Mm,
struggle. And once
mm,
you kind of switch your mindset to enjoy the struggle, you grow. And people don't understand that growing pains are a real thing.
mm,
They're a real thing. They're not just a dicho that somebody said.
right.
That's real. Every
Mm-hmm.
time you're in pain, it's because you're growing. You're becoming of higher consciousness. And a lot of society, you know, the the reason why they're in love with art or in love with artists is because an artist is a natural rebel. They could give a fuck about your rules or whatever you think.
That part,
They don't
right,
care. So that's what makes a layman enjoy art so much more, because
right. They kind of live
they're
vicariously
right, and
through your art.
people, they enjoy that. They enjoy that, and they might not even recognize what they're enjoying about the whole scenario. But once you understand what it is, then you enjoy your position a little better as well. You know.
I like that. I want to marinate in that just a second. I
Well,
like
I
it.
mean, this is the raw version of yourself. Art, certain,
Right.
like my kids, they always make fun of me because they're like, "Dad, you," because they want to watch like scary movies, and I'm like, I don't watch scary movies, and I'll like roll over on them, and they're like, "What do you mean, Dad? You don't watch scary movies? We seen
You
that
make
shit that you
right.
tattoo and draw and stuff. Like
It's
it's
different.
some super scary." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like what I'm drawing or what I'm letting go or what I'm,
It's
what
an
the fuel
expression.
is."
You're not putting
Right,
in, you're expressing out. Yeah, when
Right.
we're watching the art. That's another reason I don't often watch people's stories on the internet, or I keep myself away from a lot of things, is because if I'm always putting in, where's the time that I'm gonna expel and express out? Then it's all
Right.
these ideas, all these visuals, all these, other people made. But at that time I could be using either to calm my brain or to make something new, you know? Or maybe I'm
Yep.
going into a sad and then later something else better will come out of it.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? The sads, unfortunately, they're more present than we could acknowledge them.
Mm,
Like sometimes they're there and we're not even registering that we're going through one of those phases, you know? But
mm-hmm.
to be
An episode.
conscious and then you understand that you might
Mm.
be going through a phase and you understand that it's gonna come and go,
That took
or you
growth.
understand
That
that
took
you need
pain.
that. You need
Yeah.
that little pain and you use it for what you need it. You can't just get rid of it like that. Then it festers into something else, you know. So
Yeah.
I believe as an artist, we we're privileged to be able to have different filters to let go of things and to like filter out how we might be feeling or whatever. Where the regular society might just use, things that are less,
Well, a lot
appropriate for
there's a lot of
filters, like different abuses, and then you're
keeping it
open to
in.
abusing things.
Keeping it
Yeah.
in. People hide, hiding a while, and for many parts of my life I had to fake like it was no problem. And they teach you that. They be teaching like in law of attraction and all that. Oh, stay positive. That's not healthy. You have to have the darkness, you have to have the balance, you have to have both. You can't
Oh, you
always
got to be
stay
conscious of it, so
conscious of it.
even
Yeah,
if
that
you,
part.
right, if you're stuck in and you go back and forth a lot, because
Yeah.
I myself suffer from different kind of depressions and stuff, and then people will be like, well, what do you mean? Like, you're good, or you do
Yeah.
this, or you're into
Right.
this, or you drive this kind of car or whatever. And I'm like, you don't
They feel
understand. It
like they
wouldn't,
know enough to say you need to not feel that.
right. It wouldn't matter if I went and stole the moon and brung it back home. Sometimes you don't feel well, or you feel a little down, or you're tapped in, or your ancestors are tugging on you, and you might have to, pay them a
Listen,
visit or serve something
right.
up for them.
I wrote a song about a relationship I had where I said I said I wake up happy even when I wake up thinking of you, and ain't that something that I'm still alive regardless of you? But I love that my world fell apart because it's art over again. And then I say, where did you go? Because I can take
That's deep.
more. Where did you go?
Right,
Because I
right.
can take more. I need you
Well,
for my
yeah, well,
art. Come back and break my
well,
heart so I can get
you
another
know what they
song.
say, we love poison, right? You
As long as
understand? So,
I can antidote myself though. I got antidote.
well, you just got to be conscious of it. You can't go overboard,
That's the antidote is
you
awareness.
know.
Do you have
But you know what? It's so much
okay.
more comfortable to not be aware. It's so much more like
Ignorance is
doable,
bliss.
right? And then it's so much more like accepted to not be aware,
I
right?
choose my ignorance. I choose the things I don't want to know nothing about now that I'm aware and I realize, oh, I can not know anything about that. Good. I don't have to. I don't
Well, the
have to
thing is
learn.
this, at the end of it, if it's like if I'm driving down the street and I see you arguing with a 5-year-old about some shit that I know you know better,
Mm,
and then you losing the argument, but
mm,
who's the person that's choosing to entertain that?
mm.
Who's you understand what I'm saying? Where you know and I know, yeah, you tell the 5-year-old they got to cross the street where they're supposed to, or they're gonna get hit by a car. It doesn't matter how you feel, kid. This is where you cross the street
That's
at.
what it
You know
is.
what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, you gotta be better than that. It's still entertained, but to a certain extent. Like me, I don't know. I guess it's
I
different because
rather not. I try
I
not
work
to.
in a different world. So sometimes
Hmm.
I gotta really entertain some wild shit. And they'd be like,
Your patience. You're patient.
a person comes and they're like, I want some bamboo with a turtle and a Cuban flag and a chipmunk. and you're like, man, how am I gonna design something for this that got this whole person's wish list in there and make it make sense and make them make happy, be happy about it and love it. Like we want to live forever. I want to give you the best version of me. If it's a $50 tattoo or a $5,000 tattoo, I want to
But we
give you
don't do
the
$50
best
tattoos.
exchange. No, but you know where I'm coming from.
Then y'all
you
know it's
know.
not happening. Yeah. I can't
But
wait to I want you to tattoo me. I want to see
I'm looking
how
forward
that
to it.
feels. I
We're
want to
gonna
do
see
the
what
booty
we come
hole.
up with.
I'm gonna put a little savings because I want it. I want that. I'd never seen anything
Well,
like it.
yeah, you got to figure out what kind of things we're gonna get into. See if there's anything that rings off, or if it's something that you want me to create.
Well,
I,
as an
you know, I,
adult woman who is a spicy person in my private life, mostly I generate I show myself as very PG. When even the things that I talk spicy, I put them in a wording. You
yeah,
know, it's the
yeah,
words I
for sure.
use. But personally, freakiness is it now. So when I saw that, I'm like, I just want to experience what it's like to entertain someone with my butt like that. Like I want
So from what I know, it's enchanting. Like from
see,
what I've heard,
yeah.
it's like you forget what sometimes even what you're doing because you're like
Wow.
looking following lines and looking at
Yeah,
things or you enhance the moment,
that's
you
exciting.
know. But
Do you
yeah,
have do you
I've
have a
seen and done a lot of wild ones.
a memory? Give me a memory of of a moment in your career where you blew your own mind. Give me a memory.
Uh, uh, Probably some of the first trophies that I won. I never really thought that I was in that category. As hard as I never looked at it like any kind of competition. I always just looked at it like giving the best version of myself.
Is your dad
So
still with us?
yes,
What does he say
yes.
now?
Nah, he still fucks with me, gives me a hard time, but he
Dude,
does.
daddy.
But he be like, he's proud of me because he'll say some snickery and stuff. But he said I never really had a job because all my jobs were always like semi fun, you know.
That's a good
So
life.
I'm like,
That's a
whatever.
good life. That's the goal.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the
the trick
goal
is to
of
work
that
and
people
not
want.
feel like you're working, you know.
Right. Right.
So, and that's one of the positives of being an artist that, when when they exchange, there's 5,000 guys that could do the same kind of work, but there's something that you might enjoy about mine. Maybe my
I was
tattoos are a
told
little richer or
I
a
was told
little
about your art
softer.
form that you're the way that you tattoo, the way that you do your technique is a little obscure and that some people don't uh approve
Yep.
of the way that you tattoo. Because I mean, what is it? What is there not to approve? What are they seeing that they
Well,
say this
there's
is the right
there's
way?
different
The
steps
right
to
way.
get. There's not a wrong way. There's just better ways to do it. But I tend to tackle kind of big tattoos in a shorter period of time, where a lot of artists, you might walk down that row and you might encounter five or six artists that say, nah, that can't be done in one sitting, or nah, it's going to be two sittings or three sittings or X amount of hours, or it can't be done at all. And then if I know that
But if
that
it's
somebody
you,
said it can't be done, then I gotta
yeah,
try to do
you gotta do it.
it. So,
I love it. You like the challenge,
well,
but you also can take it on and deliver, period, which is the point.
a lot of the things I work on are like scars or cover ups, things that are just people would rather cut their arm off than work. It's like
Really?
encountering like Ebola or something.
So
Like
scars are something that tattoo artists really aren't trying to
or
work on.
reworking somebody's old
Oh,
tattoos, or let's say you got two or three scattered tattoos in your arm, and I gotta make sense of it and figure out how to make a scene or
Hmm.
compose a new tattoo with six old tattoos that you have or
Work.
stuff
That
like
sounds like
that.
the
Right.
work.
So you have to be a little bit more creative and creative at the drop of a dime. You got to remember we're at a trade show, so a lot of people are selling whatever they want to sell. They might be selling palm-sized tattoos and they might have two or three dozen on their table. But then you go down two tables, you might have a guy selling whole arms or whole backs or
Can
whatever
I
it
ask a
is.
question about
Mhm.
something that may be a little not inappropriate, but I guess it's like a dark side type thing of tattoo? Is it true that some of these pieces that I saw when I passed by people's desks, they didn't even dry it.
Yeah, yes, it's called flash. It's just to get your
Flash.
ideas kind of pumping.
So they're putting it out that it's out there for, as you know, this is me, this is my art, here's my art. But they do put art that they haven't done as an
Right.
idea
That
of,
they,
yes, I can do
you
it.
know, right. Or it's like, oh, I see this picture. I would really like to draw it or do it on somebody, you know?
Yeah.
And then obviously that's where it becomes work. So they
Well,
might be
that feels
thinking,
weird to me because if you haven't done the art, then why are you showing it off as if if it's something that is possible for you to do?
because sometimes people don't know exactly what they want. So when you could trigger two or three ideas to flow, not
Mm,
everybody's terribly creative. So like for
mm.
instance, on my table, I rarely use Flash. They call it like
It's called
going out
Flash.
with, right? They call it going out without a paddle. So paddles are like extra pictures to show you,
Yeah.
just in case you don't like what I'm talking about. Hey, I got flowers right here on deck, or I got so many pictures or whatever.
Right.
Um, my books, I just put my portfolios out and try to show you
That's
the
what I
different
saw.
qualities of work. I don't
Yeah.
really sell nothing. I kind of sell myself more.
Mm,
Um, because most of my clients end up being good friends,
mm.
you know,
You sell your
and
ability, not a picture.
right, right. I don't sell necessarily art. I sell the ability to do whatever you want me to do, like
Yeah.
compose. So you'll tell
Yeah.
me, hey, check it out. I wanted this, but I feel like it's a little basic, and I want this, and I like this, but then, my grandma passed or my aunt
Mm.
passed, and I would like to do some of this, and then, but my kids, they drew these pictures, and then, and then
Yeah.
before you know it,
Well, I've seen you. I
I'm
saw you
shooting the
work.
shit. Yeah,
I saw you work, and you work fast from the moment when they hit the table to putting them on the on to get to work. So
yeah.
did you take a read or do any kind of, throughout your trajectory of your career, any kind of business or negotiating skills, or is this is all your game?
You know what? Unfortunately, I was a hoodlum, and I was in the streets a lot,
So
so
you learn the
you know,
game.
I learned the game. Uh, I've I've sold everything under the blue moon.
Yeah.
I, yeah. So that goes without saying. Like I've unfortunately, when I was a young man, I used to work in a whole house too, so I kind of understood selling and marketing and certain
In a
type of
what house?
things in a whole house.
Ho.
So oh, like ho ho
Oh,
ho.
oh, oh,
So
okay. Like,
in a
yeah,
brothel.
brothel. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Some the folks
so
selling pussy. Got it.
yeah. So I was in the
You peep
neighborhood. I
game. You learn.
I
Yeah.
sold I sold dope. Unfortunately, I had to survive. I had to learn
Right.
how to survive. So I was like the only one doing homework in the gangway, trying trying to do
Right.
whatever business I had to do.
Trying to make it.
But
Yeah. Trying to
you
make it
know,
and trying to still be there for your dad. Make your
yeah,
dad,
me.
but still
Well,
be for you and
my
be yourself.
yeah. So, my mom and my dad, they were pretty firm in their position, like they embraced me being an artist, but they also looked at it like it was just a hobby. I've been doing that since I was a kid, so they
Mm,
never seen that side of, like the success
mm.
side of it anyways, you know. So
do you think it's a more beneficial business wise to have to do like the trade shows or to just sit still? Because also my brother Lethel, he's a traveling artist, and he, Lethel, you've known him more
Yeah,
than I do.
sir,
And
a very good man. Gold.
that's my
Lester,
brother.
Lester, I think you know what? I think he enjoys the shop life a little bit, even though he does the traveling. Like it really depends how you cater to your clients,
Hmm.
and some days in your moods too. You know, like me, I'm a pretty assertive person, so sometimes I can, they make fun of me. I make this call. I'll be like, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Calling the unicorn to come talk to me." Like I don't
Getting
care about
ready.
looking crazy. I want to encounter you, and I want to knock your wish list down. I don't
Right.
want to sell you what I want to sell you. There's plenty of
Right.
wild shit I could sell you, but I want to do what you're trying to do. What you think I can't do in a day because there's
I
not
call
enough
I call
hours,
those
enough
coloring
time.
books. When
Right.
it's
I
those
want
pre ones, I call them coloring books. When it's not like
to.
you. When it's not like
Yeah,
you, where
but
it
but
comes out
not
of her.
everybody likes that. Sometimes, see, Lobster, he prepares his stuff ahead of time and then he lays it out. So those are all pictures that he drew, but he prepared them to a certain extent so the client could see how it would look
Mhm.
on the body and where and what,
I got to see
you
him
know.
work too, do a neck that weekend. Y'all are amazing. And
So like
like I
what
was
he's
saying,
talking, what I'm sorry to cut you off.
go ahead.
What you were talking about, what like certain artists might think that my approach is different or maybe not the same approach as theirs is because they're doing things that are smaller than a page so they
Mm-hmm.
can prepare it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do tattoos usually that small, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a forearm or a leg or something like that. But what I'm preparing is going to be multiple pages, and then I'm still going to have to draw, fill in the dots. So that's
I'm
where
excited. I'm excited.
we vary because you could come to and see me at the show and be like, look, I want to get this covered and this, and I might give you an idea, and then before you know it, I pull the marker out and I'm drawing it. This is a one of a kind. That's
Right.
why
That's the part.
we're on a freestyle team. So
You
in
won the
theory,
award for
yeah,
freestyle at this
yeah,
last.
yeah. I led the team in Philly for the Philly show. I won the team award. So,
And
but
I saw Lete doesn't put out his art. He puts out a little QR code.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
he
see,
didn't even
he
have the
he
flash.
has he has different approach as well, though. Me and Lester worked together for a long, long time, not just at the trade shows. We worked in several shops together as well. So we're very familiar with each other's like way of being. We've always sat next to each other. You understand? And me and him we're kind of drastically different, but really similar in like nature. But
Yeah.
our approach to art is different. Like
Yeah.
he likes to do like really delicate, dainty
Oh, his
stuff.
shadow,
Me,
his shadowing was,
yeah.
he did
When you sit in my chair, it's because
oh
I'm
my
stealing
God.
your arm or your leg, or like I'm stealing the whole canto from you. I'll
Yeah.
give it back when I'm done.
I need to come to
you know.
Chicago. I need to
Well,
come
you're
to
more than
Chicago.
welcome.
I need to get Airbnb or something. I need to figure out how to come to Chicago and be able to get my booty hole. How does that feel in the scratching department?
From what I hear, obviously you got to keep it really clean. Yeah, I heard that the healing is fairly fast, because the skin is kind of thin,
Tougher?
but
Oh,
no,
it's thinner.
thinner, but it's in a semi sketchy area. So you got to keep it
Right.
really clean and you got to keep it, creamed up. But from from
I'm coming to Chicago.
from the ones that I've done, there wasn't a lot of wear and tear. So like when you do your hands,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get something done, you think it's done, the healing process, and then a week later a little canto will fall off and you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The success rate is a little harsher on the hands because there's so much bumping and hitting and stuff. So you would
Right.
think there's a real high success rate like on the hands versus the butt, but the
But
butt,
it's the
believe it or
opposite.
not, yeah, it's the opposite.
It's
So
easier healing. Y'all heard
yeah.
that, people? It's easier to heal your anus than to heal your hand. Let's do some funky tattoos. Do you do piercings too? Oh, that's a
No,
whole
I
nother
don't.
world.
My little brother does some piercings, but he hasn't
Nice.
worked with me in some time. But I could arrange for whatever, you
I
know.
had my nipples pierced back in the day, like about 12 years ago. And I went with a friend, and I can't say it hurt. It was more like a pop. It felt like
Yeah.
a pop. Do you got your nipples pierced?
No,
No?
I got
Okay.
these really little baby nipples. I don't think they would be a good look. I'm not
That shit
that
was like
tough.
pop, pop.
Don't let this fool you. I will crack.
No. So you got your tongue.
Ah,
How'd that happen? Tell me that story, and then we can
man,
actually go ahead and close it up and end it. But I want to hear how that happened.
we were.
What's the thought process to splitting your tongue?
I was arguing with my baby mama, and I
Tea, we
told
got
her
tea.
I was arguing with her, and I told her what when she asked me what I did, I told her so I could talk the same language she talked. It was snake,
Twisted.
like snake, like
Oh,
like some
maybe
cold shit.
hello.
Like I was just being a jag off, but it was because
Yeah.
she's a handful of damn self. So that's
Some of us are. Some of us are. But dang, okay. Well, you changed your life. How's kissing? Can I ask that? Can I ask how kissing is?
from what I've been told,
Right.
it's
What you
kind
been
of
told?
it's different. It's different.
Yeah,
Uh,
because it's a muscle. And here I'm like I can tackle, so I know that it has to move different. It has to move different when you're kissing and stuff.
uh-huh.
Do you have a girlfriend? Are you
Yep.
dating? You're dating someone? Good job,
Yep.
girl. Yeah, maybe she can tell us. No, that's her business. But okay, that's what's up. I'm happy that you were able to be here and talk with me for a little while about your art
I
and about
appreciate you
emotions.
happening me.
And thank you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you some text messages and see, because I just made my website, so it's not like this is old. So you can see what it is that you would need to do to get it done. Get your domain and all that stuff. I'll just send you a text, and then I'll help you to
All
build your
right,
website. And
man, that'd be
because you
cool.
need somewhere for people to go and see these things that without a censor.
Right,
There
right.
needs to
You're
be
right.
somewhere to go. And then you QR code that or whatever, however you want the people to get it. But there needs to be somewhere where they could just go, oh, that's it. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna
I
help.
do because
Is there anything else?
because half of my portfolio is like
Spicy.
it's canceled. It's canceled like type.
But I forgot. Well, I was looking
Oh,
after a while. I forgot that I was looking
I
directly at
see kids grow up
penises.
every day when they come up. Like people come up with their kids, and I'll be looking at them like, oh god, like, and I don't want to be like a dirtbag and like snatch the book or close it
Right.
on them or some shit. So I kind of just fall back like, oh, there's some adult pictures in there, and they're like, oh no, that's okay. And kids grow straight up. They just whoop,
Yeah.
they open the thing, and it's like everything made sense to them
Yeah.
after.
Because once I saw the butts, some of them have the vagina right there.
Yep.
Because it's
Well,
part of the thing. So we're gonna make a website, and you're gonna have all those pictures somewhere where people can just go and click on their website. I want to help. I want to
definitely.
help because
I
that
need
kicks
some
ass.
help. But
I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna make a
I
website. So we're gonna have a
appreciate
website soon.
I definitely appreciate you having some time for me, you know.
Thank you, thank you. I do. You guys, this was T. I'm gonna call you a master tattoo artist. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hell fucking right.
Um
Master tattoo artist T. Ink by Temper. Call your sponsors out and do all your
please give
closings.
me a follow. Ink by Temper 81. Sponsored by Neo Grip USA. Uh, sponsored by Freestyle Mania.
Freestyle Mania.
Please give them a follow as well. Thank you guys from
That
here
was the
to
Mimi show,
the
y'all.
world.
We got spicy. We gotta get my booty tattoo. When that happens,
The
okay,
Mimi Show,
then my
baby.
booty will be there. Then there will be my booty. Will be on your
Yeah.
website. So we got.
Well,
If y'all want to see
you
my
gotta
booty, we gotta
figure it
make it
out.
happen. Okay, that
Well,
was the Mimi show, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, T.
see you later, Mimi. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye, mommy.